everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lacey. I am the owner of Milky Candles and I make videos about life in my 30s. I don't typically focus on new things in the new year because I think that there is a lot of weird guilt if I don't follow through with those things, and having the high expectations in general just already makes me feel guilty. So I'm going to talk about some things that I have already been practicing that I am bringing in to the new year with me. So we can consider this like a 2023 reset on some of the things that I've already tried practicing or have started practicing. Something that's relatively new to me is making a budget and then sticking to it. I know what's too expensive for me and I know what's affordable to me, but I have a very difficult time figuring out what a budget is and how to stick with it. I used to be really good at this when I was in college, and I was like trying to figure out how much my groceries cost and how much my books costed and things like that. But now that I'm an adult and I have so many other things to take into consideration, it feels a lot harder. So something that I am really attempting to do this year that I started towards the end of 2022 is to start making budgets. How much does it cost for groceries? How much are we spending on our bills? How much do we need to spend on our animals? We have 7 animals total, so there's always a vet visit that needs to happen, or a vaccine, or pet food, or you name it. Create a budget and stick to it. And that kind of goes hand in hand, for me at least, with like the envelope stuffing. I am becoming more familiar with it and what works for me and what doesn't work for me. So in 2023, I want to really focus on setting the budget, sticking to the budget, but I have to make sure that the budget is actually feasible for our household. Another thing I'm really focusing on is just getting back to plant-based eating. You guys, I was vegetarian for a really long time, and then I was like a really long time, and then I became plant-based for a while. I felt better than I had ever felt physically. Mentally, I felt really clear as well, but I was really hard on myself if I wasn't being like the perfect plant-based person. Like maybe I'm eating a soup that has chicken broth and I didn't ask the chef behind the counter. In 2023, I want to get back to plant-based. I've already started. I started again towards the end of 2022, but finding a better balance so that I don't feel guilty about what I am consuming. My skin was incredibly clear. My skin has gotten really bad ever since I have fallen off. It's not to say that my whole diet is going to be vegetarian or vegan again, because I just don't see myself being incredibly restrictive like I used to be, because I also have a unique relationship with food and I'm trying to work through that in a really healthy way, like mentally healthy way. So becoming more plant-based on a consistent basis. Now that includes the food that I bring home to cook. So the next thing I want to focus on, which I was really, really good at all through 2018, 19, 20, and in 2020, we know what happened in 2020. It started a really fast downhill spiral into ordering out. We began ordering out so much because if you didn't leave the house and you stayed home, you were a good person. That's how it was supposed to be. And so it became really easy to sort of depend on that and say, well, we shouldn't leave the house anyway, so yeah, let's just order food. And then it turned into, okay, well, if I'm gonna start cooking, then I'm gonna have my groceries delivered to me. I've gotten into this really strange habit of not wanting to go to the grocery store or even a restaurant, because now I just have so much anxiety surrounding it. So I'm working on it with baby steps, but my goal is to cook more food, go out and get my produce myself. And that was one of the ways that I was actually able to eat the healthiest and feel the best about my body and about like my energy levels, was when I actually was seeing the food that I was purchasing and then bringing it into my home and creating the meal myself. You would think that this would make it easier, but I'm thinking that it's gonna be a little bit harder. But now that I fully work from home, I just noticed that there is a tear in my lace curtains in my window, and I'm wondering which animal I'm gonna blame that on. But now that I totally work from home, I am having to create a schedule for myself. I have to schedule in time when I'm going to eat, when I'm going to cook, when I'm going to get ready, and then all of like the work things throughout the rest of the day, including when I start work and when I end work. And that's been really difficult because if you don't already know, I am an entrepreneur. I own a candle business named Milky Candles. And when I dove into it 100%, it very quickly turned into like something I want to do most of the day to something I am doing all day and all night. And if you also don't know, we brought in a tiny, not even 1 day old puppy that we ended up bottle feeding and taking care of, and we still have him. And now that he's a little bit older, it's been easier for me to go from making sure that I'm tending to him, aka feeding him, peeing him, pooping him, burping him every 2 hours. Now we get to do between every 6 hours, and we just get to play with him in between. So his feeding schedule and his bowel schedule is a lot better, and now I get to get back into the whole, okay, let's focus on the business and let's focus on a schedule that is not the puppy schedule, but it is your schedule. This is also difficult because I very much feel like my day is unfinished honestly kind of all day. If I don't sit and make a schedule and say, these are the things I'm tackling today, then at the end of the day, I could do a million things in one day, but I don't feel like I was productive because I wasn't able to do everything in one day, and that's impossible. So in 2023, I'm really focusing on making a schedule for myself, sticking to it, and making sure that it's actually reasonable and that I can accomplish those things in the day so that at the end of the day, I don't feel bad if I didn't post on Instagram or if I didn't make as many candle vessels as I wanted, or if I didn't send out an email campaign, or any of those sorts of things that go into running my business. After I left teaching, I decided that needed a little bit of time to just come down from teaching and take a week or so to just cool off. Of course, that's when we got the puppy, so I had a really difficult time with getting up, getting ready, and going about my day. I fell out of this habit of get up and get ready by this time, make sure you eat breakfast by this time. This kind of falls in line with the schedule. And then before I knew it, it was 1 p.m. and the only thing I had done for myself was brush my teeth, and my stomach was incredibly empty, like literally nothing but coffee. So something I want to work on in 2023 is making sure that I wake up, I shower. I used to be a night showerer, and now I'm a morning showerer. So I don't know. I kind of feel weird about it because I don't like getting in bed feeling dirty from the day. So I'm working through that. We'll figure out what works best for me. But getting up and getting ready just makes me feel way more ready for the actual day. If I want to run out and get errands, if I want to get out and run errands, then I feel like I'm capable of doing that because I'm already ready. I don't have to get ready. I'm not spending more time getting ready. That doesn't mean like getting up and doing my hair and my makeup every day. It honestly means like showering, putting on deodorant, putting on an outfit, like it could be a t-shirt and sweats and sneakers and just, well, maybe not sneakers because I'm still at home, but you get the idea. You're getting the idea. Just feeling ready. Does anyone else feel that way? Like if you don't get up and get ready, then you're not ready. Like you don't want to do anything. You're like, I'm not leaving the house. I didn't get ready today. It's like, well, okay, but Lacey, you can't do that every day. So 2023, we're getting up, we're showering, and we're getting ready for the day. Every day, most days. Let's say 5 out of 7 days we're getting up and getting ready. We're showering every day though, don't worry. And something else I really want to work on is moving more. So I don't know what happened to my foot, and so I gotta wait until this like foot drama is over. I sit like a child, like crisscross applesauce. I don't know if I sprained my foot by sitting that way and putting too much pressure on it, if I like got up too quickly, I don't know. But all of a sudden my right foot is just not feeling great. Like I'm limping. Sometimes I'm limping throughout the house. And it made me realize that I think I take a lot of my movements for granted. My fiance is also dealing with some health issues at the moment that might like inhibit her ability to move and feel good about moving. And I think I've just had kind of like a light bulb go off of like my body is able to move whenever I want it to move. Like, I'm an able-bodied person, and that is something that I want to make sure I'm grateful for all the time. So I want to move more when this foot drama is over, okay? I want to take the dogs on walks. Now we have 4 dogs, so I'm gonna like do 2 and 2, or like 1 and 1 every day, or I don't really know. I want to jog around the block. I used to run the Husky 5K at UW Bothell because that's where I went to college. And everyone always had their own Huskies that would run with them. And I just thought that was the cutest thing ever. And I always wanted a Husky ever since I was a kid. If you don't know, the puppy that we did rescue is a Husky. And so now I want to run the Husky 5K with my own Husky. So my best friend and I have been talking about that because we used to run it together. And I want to start training for that. So I want to move. Does anyone have like, okay, serious question about like, I don't even know what they are, but like the watches that track your movement, I think it's a watch. I don't really know. I think it is a watch. Or there's like different things. Some of them aren't watches. They're just like bracelets. Listen, clearly I know nothing about it, but like, do you have one? And do you find that it's actually valuable for you? There's a piece of hair in the middle of my forehead. Let me know. Thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. Not committed to the decision yet. But I really want to move more. That's my goal, especially now that I work from home. Yeah. And I don't want to do like the whole get a gym membership and workout stuff because I'm not going to keep up with it. I know myself. I've done it a million times. It is so mundane. I like doing like pole dancing classes, or I'll jog around the block, but I don't really want to jog on a treadmill. Like, there's just things that I like to do and things that I don't like to do, and I'm not going to force myself to be active in an activity that I don't enjoy doing. Okay? That's what 30 has taught me. I don't have time to waste on things I don't like anymore. I don't have time. This is something that you guys have seen on my channel a lot in 2022. It's continuing in 2023. I'm going to consume less. I'm going to declutter the things that we do not use, and I'm going to consume less items. At some point, I took a look at our house and I said, holy f***, we have way too much stuff. It is too hard to keep track of everything. We don't even use the stuff that we have, and we just keep it away in these closets. And then the stuff that we do use, we can't put away in the closets because it's occupied by stuff that we don't use. It's too much. I don't need it. I'm actually gonna make a whole video about like just my thoughts about consuming and money and like my mindset shift with money lately. But like clothes, shoes, home decor, like little gadgets that like sit on your shelf and don't do anything but collect dust. I'm over it. That's not to say I'm not gonna buy anything ever, but like I have these certain categories in my mind that I know I want to implement. If it's not something that is timeless, then I don't want it. If it's something that I can, like, you know, Christmas is coming and my mom is always like, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas? Then I'll be like, hey mom, I've really been thinking about this thing and I really want it for Christmas. And I just want to make sure that I am buying with intention. I want to create like 1 in 1 out policies, especially with shoes. I love a good white sneaker. The amount of white sneakers that my fiance and I have collectively is disgusting. And we don't have any dogs that care about shoes except for the new puppy. So we're gonna have to be very careful with our shoes, or we're not gonna be able to do a 1 in 1 out policy. It's gonna be like 7 out at one time. So, or like, you know, certain things like plants or just like little things. Like I have glass straws in my Amazon basket right now. And let me tell you, I probably will buy them, but it's because I have a bunch of ugly silicone straws that I would like to be donated. They're ugly. They're like orange and green and yellow. And I'm not a minimalist, so don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I want to swap those. I want to swap. But do I need the glass straws? Probably not. But they're going to sit there and I'm going to think about them for a long time, even though I've already thought about them for a long time. And I am a straw person because this is so stupid. I don't even know why I'm getting into this in this video, but like I have 2 fillings, like 1 filling behind each front tooth. And then this right here is a cap because I chipped my tooth when I was like a drunk teenager on the counter at my sister My sister did it, actually. Like, I bit the counter. Long story. So I need a straw to send the cold things to the back of my throat instead of having them get on my teeth. I'm a princess, what can I say? Becoming more intentional with my consumption habits is something that I definitely want to think of in 2023, and it's something I totally started thinking of in 2022. Well, I started thinking about it in 2021, implemented it in 2022, and now we are continuing to implement it in 2023. Speaking of being more intentional, I want to be more intentional with my income streams. Now that I work from home, it's really important that I have multiple income streams. I own a business, and so I sell physical product, but keeping physical product in a house is a little difficult because I don't have enough space. So something else I want to really take into consideration is obviously my monetized platform of YouTube. There's nothing else that I monetize, and I don't feel like doing any like brand deals. Like, people have contacted me and I've just like shut them all down because I'm just not in a place for it, I don't think. But just making sure that I'm sticking with the platforms that I already do have to make sure that I can pay my bills. But that's not just about like my income streams, it's also about the platforms that I already am utilizing and how do I utilize them in a way where it allows me to be like adventurous or even like meticulous or just like more committed. Even on my business Instagram, I'll go weeks without posting anything, and that's not really a good idea if I'm trying to catch like a new audience. So I'm trying to figure out how to balance all of these things, and I'm slowly making myself, again, a schedule, both like a monthly schedule, a yearly schedule, and every day I'll have a different daily schedule or like different goals for the week. But I'm trying to be more intentional with my income streams and like the content that I am providing and putting out into the world. One last thing that I want to focus on in 2023, just so far, is I want to allow myself to play. I want to allow myself to go on coffee dates with my fiance, or like for Valentine's Day, we're going to do some pottery. I want to allow myself to spend money on experiences or even just do free experiences, but just allow myself to get out of the house and make memories. That has been really difficult ever since the beginning of 2020. Remember, you know what time that was, because I started just developing habits within the home, and I want to start allowing myself to just get out and play a little bit more. Because honestly, I am working all day. I am answering emails. I am shipping orders. I am taking them to the post office. I am making vessels. I'm painting vessels. I'm then filling vessels. I'm unmolding vessels. I'm shopping for supplies online. I'm looking at, well, I guess I am kind of budgeting a little bit, but looking at the budgets that I have. And then when I'm done, I do the dishes, and then the dogs go potty, and then I pick up their poop. And just like, I just want to allow myself to live a little bit outside of the house. So those are all the things that I am making sure I want to focus on in 2023. This feels like a list that I can do because they're things that I've naturally already started moving into because I just have general interest to do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are not subscribed already, please join us. Ring the bell if you want to get notifications. Thumbs up this video because it helps the algorithm. I love you guys even if you don't love me back, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.